been awesome, like throughout all the Oni albums, you working with these legends.
Howard taught me something really interesting about singing live because I use a lot of rasp in my vocal when I'm in the studio,
Yeah.
or a lot of grit and stuff. And he said, don't do that live. Clean it up live. Make it really clean live because it's hard for your voice to like maintain that. And I was like, huh. And I tried it and I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna do it live like that. And he was right. Like it is hard to maintain live. So I altered how I sound live. Be a bit cleaner, and it definitely paid dividends. And Howard taught me that, and Randy, what did Randy say? Randy says all kinds of weird shit, man. He's a great dude.
Today we're joined for a quick interview with Jake Oni of ONI. This week, ONI is dropping their brand new album, The Silver Line. That is absolute fire. It has some incredible features such as Howard Jones of Light the Torch, former Killswitch Engage, the mighty Jared DINES, and much more. It's just such a great piece and I can't recommend it enough. And around hearing all about that album, we get some insight on Jake's roots, what made him want to become a musician, what it's like to be peers with all these legends such as Howard, Randy Blythe, Iggy Pop, and others who have been featured in ONI's albums, and much more. So yeah, let's just get into it. Very nice to meet you today, man.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Just genuinely loving all the new music, and this week
Oh man, thank you.
I guess the album's coming out, Silverline, as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's cool to kind of like hear like all those singles, and even like it made me go back and kind of look at the rest of your catalog for the first time.
Mhm.
And it's cool to see the evolution. But
Definitely.
before I kind of want to ask you a little bit about that, I kind of want to know a little bit about you and just kind of like your history of like either singing or being inspired to become a songwriter yourself.
Yeah, dude. So I saw Linkin Park when I was like 13 in Detroit, and that was like a game changer for me. That was
Mm,
like I was so fired up when I saw them. And I haven't really changed since then. It, stuck with me and uh, led me down the path that I'm on now. And been a lot of bumps along the way, but we ride the stormy seas and navigate through that shit, and here we are.
yeah, that's amazing. It's just like just live music's the best like that too. So it's so
Yeah,
inspiring, and like just
yeah.
seeing that
So fun.
energy. Like I can imagine you seeing Chester or somebody and just being like, that's what I want to do for the rest of
Yeah,
my life.
100%, man.
Yeah, it's cool. And even like when you started writing, like how did this become? Like, did you always have the Oni project and persona in mind, or was this something
No,
that came
so
later?
like I started a band with my friends in Canada, and it became Oni, and it was a thing. And I've stopped doing music for a while, and the band sort of split up, and I wanted to do music again. So I took Oni as my project, like a solo project.
Mhm.
I would join a band again, but I like having a solo project as well.
Mhm.
So a band isn't out of the question for me, another band, but Oni, as it is right now, is my solo project.
Cool, cool.
And yeah,
Yeah,
it my creative outlet for sure.
yeah, that's awesome. And even it's interesting to go back and hear like the original album under Oni, and it seemed like it was more like a tech death type of vibe.
Yes,
And as I'm like
yes.
listening to as the years go on, you kind of get a little bit more hooky, but still heavy in a way. And it just I kind of want to
Oh yeah.
little know about like your evolution as an artist.
Uh-huh. So like for me, like Lamb of God was a big influence on me,
Mhm.
and my screaming and the heaviness, and that kind of led to the death sort of tech stuff. And it was really cool at the time. I really liked it, and as I get older, I just like to sing more. To be
Mhm.
honest, it's more expressive, and I still like to throw down and get heavy live, especially. It's nothing like it, but when I'm in the studio and I'm writing, I like to write hooks.
Yeah, and you're so good at it too. Like
Thank
once
you.
I heard that or saw the video for Aura, that hook was in my head for a few days.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, I think it's just
So,
even awesome, like throughout all the Oni albums, you working with these legends, and whether it's metal or metalcore, and like guys like Randy, Iggy Pop, to even Howard in this video. And
yeah.
I just kind of want to know like a little bit about meeting Howard and putting this new single together.
So I met Howard on tour in 2016, and we've been homies, stayed in touch ever since. And you know, I consider him a really close friend of mine, to be honest. We get in a lot of trouble together, and
Nice.
he's a great dude.
That's awesome. And even I listen to like a lot of like different like music podcasts, and there's one I love with Jamie Josta and Howard called How Awesome Is This, where they're talking about like old action movies and stuff. And I can
Oh yeah,
imagine him being hella stoked for the video to dress up almost like Jean-Claude Van Damme Time Cop and just be
yeah,
in this space
yeah,
thing.
man.
Like
He
that
was
must have been
stoked
so
that
much
day.
fun to put together.
He was stoked that day, man. It was cool hanging with him that day, and he's just, you know, he's awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah, like I mentioned, you're been embraced in like on a lot of tracks with like a lot of these legends. Is there any standout advice you got from one of these guys, like a Randy or an Iggy Pop, Howard, that's kind of in your
Too
mind
much,
that
man.
too much? That's good.
Too much. It's hard for me to pick one thing. I've learned so much from Randy and Howard and Mark, and
Hmm.
Josh and all these guys. You know, Howard taught me something really interesting about singing live. He said, because I use a lot of rasp in my vocal when I'm in the studio,
Yeah.
or a lot of grit and stuff. And he said, don't do that live. Clean it up live. Make it really clean live because it's hard for your voice to like maintain that. And I was like, huh. And I tried it. And I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna do it live like that. And he was right. Like it is hard to maintain live. So I altered how I sound live to
Hmm.
be a bit cleaner, and it definitely paid dividends. And Howard taught me that. And Randy, what did Randy say? Randy says all kinds of weird shit, man. He's a great dude. Um,
Yeah.
Mark is really cool too, man. He's a total legend, and you know,
Hmm.
great guy. I'm gonna go see him this weekend, actually. So that'll
Oh,
be
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome and great company too. And it just like it fits so well with like the project too. It almost like it reminds me of like a spirit that the hip hop community has, where they'll just feature like a bunch of like just dudes and legends and stuff, where I
Uh-huh.
feel like it's very rare in metal, like even though it does happen, but I like seeing that. I love seeing the collaborations, and especially with one of your newer tracks as well with Jared Dines, where like a lot of people know him as like a YouTuber, but oh my god, his chops are insane, and even the riff on that
He's a
song
guitar
is
player
yeah.
who happens to do YouTube. That's what I
Hmm.
think about it. And he's such a homie. I love the shit out of that guy. And like, if I were to do a band, it'd be with Jared,
Oh,
100%.
amazing.
Like, and I would put him in Oni too, to be honest. Like he basically is like, um, he comes to all the writing sessions now, and he's in the room with me and Josh and Joe, and yeah, Jared's one of the guys, and he's great. I love that dude.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so many like heavy hitters around you, and yeah, it's so cool even like as like a longtime metal fan myself to see you
Oh yeah,
collab with all these guys. And just I
yeah,
kind of
man.
want to know how you feel too, like as we're talking right now, the album is coming out in a couple days, and
Yeah.
obviously you I from everything like the songwriting to the production, you put a lot of fucking work in it, I could tell. And just like how do you feel about this being released?
Dude, it's a long time coming. I've been sitting on these songs for a while now, so it's a trip that they're finally coming out because to me they feel old, but to everybody they obviously feel new. So that's wild, and hopefully, when I see them come out, it'll be like a rejuvenating sort of thing where I get to experience the songs for the first time through other people's eyes. That'll be great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, just as like we're winding down the interview as well, I
Yeah.
I want to say like a lot of like different creatives, they kind of gravitate to these segments and stuff. And I want to know if you have any personal advice for somebody who's aspiring to be a musician and kind of like maybe they're playing in a band in their garage or something and want to take it to the next level. Like, what would you advise as like maybe that
Don't do
first
it for
step?
money, man. Don't do it for money. Definitely not. Do it because you do it anyway, and do it because you love it. That's my advice. If you're in it for any kind of financial gain or to become famous, it's never going to happen. So just do it because you love it. Get 1% better every day. That's all. In 100 days, you'll be 100% better. And just do what you're good at and do what you'll get paid for anyway. You know what I mean? If you're a great drummer and you want to be a singer, but you suck, stick to playing drums, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
Or the other way
lean
around, if you're a
into
great
like,
singer, but you want to
yeah.
play guitar and you suck at guitar, just stick to singing. You know, just do serve the song to the best of your ability and get 1% better at that every day. And do it because you love it, not because you want to be rich. That's what I would say.
Awesome,
You
awesome.
stick to all those things and you stay true to yourself, man, you can't go wrong. And money will follow you. It'll just happen. It won't be one of those things that you have to chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool,
So
man. And yeah, so even once this is out, are you planning on like touring the album and everything, or?
100%. I'm just waiting to get the demand to headline, to be honest.
Mhm.
Nothing wrong with supporting, but I would love to headline. So
Yeah, that'd be
that's
awesome.
where my head's at.
Yeah, well, I'm a new fan. If you end up in the Toronto area, I will be there.
100%.
Yeah, hell yeah. And yeah, I'm looking
Man.
forward to that. But yeah, I want to thank you for your time today.
Oh,
Again,
thank
I
you,
can't
man.
say it enough. The album's fucking awesome, and we'll continue to keep sharing it as you put out singles or like tour dates or everything. And yeah, great
Yeah.
to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, bro.
Hope you guys enjoyed that chat with Jake. Like we mentioned, The Silver Line is out this week on October 13th. Absolute banger. Such a banger. As their publicist was on vacation, they sent me this email about the album. Kind of like, I'm not supposed to be working right now, but this one's very special. And you know what? They were right. Shout out to Sarah at Looters and Lucy for providing me with a lot of these awesome metal interviews you've been hearing as of late. We got a lot more of that content to come. Also some stuff around horror movie festivals. A look into Bob Saget's final film. I talked to the creator of Air Bud, one of the voices of my main character on Street Fighter 6, and a lot more. So if you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe. Or if you're listening to it on Spotify, Apple Music, all that, give it a follow, cause shit's about to hit the fan. And I know that's a term that means something bad is gonna happen, but I mean it in a good way. These things are crazy right now. And before we go, like always, we got to thank all you legends on the Patreon page. First up, our boy Mike Carniello of the Testing with Mike YouTube channel. If you're into technology, electronics, how they work, and most importantly, how to fix them, go check out Testing with Mike. Also, Amanda McKnight of Top 10 Nerd. Beyond being one of the hosts of Top 10 Nerd and talking in front of millions of subscribers, she has her very own channel. Search for Amanda McKnight if you're into comic books, video games, superheroes, TV series, and all things nerdy. It's such a good vibe. Another shout out to the wonderful Jenny Potter, the legend Devin McBride, Ryan frickin' Campbell, my favorite soul singer, Saber, and last but not least, Francis Coffer, aka my mom. If you want to hear these episodes early, raw, and uncut, no edits, right when I'm done the Zoom call, I just post them. You can go to patreon.com/thecreative-imbalance. And beyond supporting the show and having my forever thanks, you can just go to bed at night and sleep soundly knowing you're a badass motherfucker who supports raw, uncut, independent media. And nobody can take that away from you. You hear me? And like I said, we got a lot going on, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you real soon. Yeah!